got 1 minute. Good morning. I'd like to invite you to please stand in body and or spirit and sing hymn number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come walk and reign with me. Come walk and reign with me. Come walk and reign with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Ken Wechter. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm your worship associate on this beautiful Sunday morning. We welcome you into this sanctuary where we celebrate diversity and learn from one another, no matter our differences, in order to deepen our connections and transform the world with love. Let us begin our worship with these opening words by the Reverend Scott Taylor, called Belonging for Our Whole Selves. May this honored hour become the path which brings us back to our center, back to that place of belonging, to what is true, what is deepest within, and what knows us even before we know ourselves. In this space, may we come together to remember that we are held and welcomed whole, without any need to hide or withhold a single piece or part of who we are.
Thank you, Ken. Well, good morning. Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. I had a fabulous vacation, but it's good to be home and to see all of you again. Oh, it's wonderful. I realized as I was getting back to work that this is the beginning of my 8th year in this position. I know, wow, I was like, whoa. So I'm really excited to be starting my 8th year with all of you. I have some plans, some big plans. I spent the last 2 weeks doing sort of a little mini study and planning sabbatical, just trying to figure out what direction to take this year. So we have some new programs coming up that I'm going to share with you, because of course we want you to engage and to connect, because that's how we transform ourselves in the world, right? So first of all, I would love to have some lay pastoral care volunteers, people who are willing to go through a course, engage in learning how to best do pastoral care, and to help me with that so that we can take care of folks in the congregation. If you're interested, let me know. Wednesday nights will start again. There's nothing this Wednesday, but we'll start again in September, and I'm going to do dinner worship on the first Wednesdays as we have, and Creativity Matters on the fourth Wednesdays as we've been doing. But I would also like to expand that Creativity Matters program and perhaps offer it on a different day of the week as well for those that can't make Wednesdays. So I'm open to Saturdays or Sundays. It's really a lot of fun to engage in these activities and to create, I can call it art. It's art, right? You've seen it on the social hall wall. It's art of some sort, but we create that together, and it's really meaningful. So check your newsletter for when we might do that. There's going to be a new program once a month on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Called Practice Matters, and this is where I will introduce you to different spiritual practices from different traditions and philosophies, where we can really dig into our theme for the month together, and go deep with each other and share with one another. So that it's called Practice Matters. So look in your newsletter when it comes out on Monday, and I will put the times in there so that you can come. The info session will actually be August 31st at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in spiritual practices and doing this program, please join me that morning at 10 a.m. and you can learn more about it. Let's see. Crystal's free yoga class is this Friday at 4 p.m. Be sure to come. Water communion. Always have to announce this ahead of time so that you remember to collect your water from a meaningful place. It does not have to be somewhere that you've traveled to. It can be out of your faucet. It can be your cat's bowl, the bathtub, whatever. It can be the lake where you go, take your morning walk, if you do such a thing. I strive to do that, but Anyway, water communion is when we all bring in water from our different sources, and we pour it into our communal bowl. We say something about it. Our theme this year is building belonging, so whatever it is I ask you to speak about, it'll be in line with that theme. So just start thinking about it. And if, by chance, any of our snowbirds are watching online, I would really love for the snowbirds to record a little video of themselves and send it in so that we can have them join us virtually, because water communion is kind of a big deal in Unitarian Universalism. Also, I have a new schedule. I will put that in the newsletter, but my office hours will be by appointment. So if you want to catch up with me or sit down and have a conversation, just email me or catch me on a Sunday and make sure I write it down, and we can get together. But it just seems like it would be easier if it was by appointment, okay? Because I'm pretty flexible, and I know a lot of you have some, you work and have schedules, so it's just easier to do it that way. And then, of course, next Sunday, we'll continue our adventure of building belonging. And so I'll be here again with a sermon, and certainly aiming to bring more joy to your life. So please join us again next Sunday. All right. Well, with that, that's all the announcements, the business, and whatnot. And now we will create our sacred space.
The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalist faith. We light it each Sunday, as do UU churches around the world, to create sacred space, to connect us with one another, and to remember who we are as people of faith.
Dave, since you're in the front row, I'm going to pick on you. Would you please do us the honor of lighting our chalice? So this isn't just a place of worship. This isn't just a fellowship of like minds. This isn't just a Sunday morning filled with spirit and topped off with coffee and cookies. This is our church, our congregation, where we are building a beloved community, where we are opening ourselves to each other, where we trust and love, rise and fall together. This is where we feel safe. This is where we know we are welcomed. This is where we belong. For this gift and so many others, we light our chalice. Let us rise in body or spirit and sing in English and Spanish, hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Well, this is the time in the service when I invite the children and those young at heart to join me at the front. but you know what? It's going to take me a long time. And that's okay, because it'll be fun to put it together, right? It'll be fun to see how all the pieces connect. Yeah? Do you think that Melissa wants me to send this out with y'all? Yeah. She does, yes! Okay. Don't forget the plan when you're building. When you're building anything, you have to have a plan and a vision. Look, this is the vision. A mushroom house with flowers. That's a cool vision. All right, well, I will send this out to all of you. So while I'm packing it up, you may put your joys and sorrows down in it. Do you want to show Alice how to do that? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all have fun building the next Oh, boy.
Way back here.
Enjoy the connection and the love and the information and the transformation.
Here we gather, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood, between the beautiful tall pines. We are a community of people who have arrived from many different paths, yet we seek a common goal, to bring more love to a hurting but beautiful world. We do this by building our UUCL community with our time, talents, and treasures. Our shared UU value of generosity calls us to covenant with one another that we freely and compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources so that the dream of beloved community becomes a reality. Today, we will share our monetary resources with Florida Rural Legal Services. This nonprofit law firm is dedicated to providing quality civil legal advice, representation, and education to low-income people. They serve immigrants, children, communities of color, domestic violence victims, elderly, farm workers, human trafficking survivors, individuals with physical or mental disabilities, low income, women, and working poor and unemployed. Florida Rural Legal Services has an office in Lakeland. Please help us to grow into our dreams of transforming the world around us as our ushers pass the plate for our collection.
We will light the healing candle today, as we do each week, to remind us to keep practicing compassion, a compassion so strong that it can help heal the wounds that keep us apart. It is a courageous practice in a world that seems to care so little. Compassion is a practice of resistance in a world where the dehumanization of other people seems so normal. So for the immigrants, the unhoused, and those whose land has been stolen from them, we will light our healing candle. For the children and families who suffer at the hands of the greedy and power-hungry, we light this candle. Ken, would you please light our healing candle for us? I offer you this prayer from the Reverend Cameron Trimble. It is a prayer for remembering our belonging. Sacred presence, root us in belonging so deep we cannot fall alone. Strip away the illusion of separateness. Reteach us reverence. Awaken in us a sense of kinship so wide it undoes every wall. Where our culture has made us consumers, make us caretakers. Where our grief has made us numb, make us tender. And where despair whispers that nothing can change, remind us that the great turning always begins in the heart. May we move from me to we, not as a slogan, but as a sacred return to who we really are. Amen. Our ritual of the sharing of joys and sorrows is a prayerful time in which we listen to our hearts, minds, bodies, and souls to discern what it is we need in this moment. This ritual allows for us to connect our lives and deepen our faith in the understanding that we belong to one another. We are here to care for each other, and through caring, we illuminate the beauty of our interdependence. In our Joys and Sorrows book, you are able to write any significant joy or sorrow occurring in your life that you would like for the congregation to know. And today, I have a note from Dorothy, who has a joy. She says that we leave to visit national parks in Canada. Hopefully, we can get back to the U.S. We hope so. And Grace writes, I survived the first week of school. I've got a great group of kids this year, and I've learned almost all 180 of their names. That's impressive. And Julia says, gratitude to be here once again. I would also like to share that Sherry wasn't able to make it today. She's out with some back pain, and so please send her some healing thoughts or give her a call.
I would like, since Grace had a great week, I just want to bring up Shelby too. She made it through the week, but since she's so immunocompromised, she is super sick right now.
Oh, okay.
She is struggling.
All right. Shelby will be in our thoughts.
And Joshua would be here today, but he overslept.
Joshua just, yes, he overslept, but he just got home, so we'll let him.
And did we put Gail in?
Gail, yes, and Gail too, who she'll be here in 2 weeks, up here. She's feeling better. I heard of this response that I would like to teach you today. In my study sabbatical, I was listening to a podcast, and the Reverend Dr. Glenn Rideout from Minneapolis congregation said that his congregation responds, after people share a joy or a sorrow, responds with this. Everybody says it. You are not alone. Say it. You are not alone. We are holding it together. Yeah, I think that's really beautiful, and I think that's something that we can learn to say after sharing for one another. Thank you. So I'll invite all of you now to come forward for our ritual of joys and sorrows. You may take whichever stone or stones feels right to you and drop it in the bowl, connecting to others, feeling the power of being together in this community. Deidre, would you please put a healing stone in for Sherry? And for anyone watching on Zoom or live stream, put stones in for you as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Today's service begins our spiritual exploration of the theme, Building Belonging. This exploration calls us to be centered in love and to wonder about the ways we can best live into our value of pluralism as we strive to be a place where all people with loving hearts can belong. Our shared Unitarian Universalist value of pluralism asks us to celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. To uphold the value of pluralism, we covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, embracing our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. So let's take some deep breaths together now as we center ourselves. Big breath in. Hold it for 3 counts. 2, 3. And let it out. Feel yourself opening up your heart, opening up your mind. Breathe out again. Breathe in and know that we are all sacred beings, breathing in this same sacred air. We live in a sacred world of vast complexity and diversity. We cannot escape our connectedness. It is the truth of our beingness. Breathe in again as you understand that we belong to one another. Envision yourself walking in this world with more curiosity about the ways you belong. And take one last breath of compassion for all those around you who also belong. And say with me, I belong. We belong. We all belong. And with that, let us rise in body or spirit to sing our hymn number 1023, Building Bridges.
Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you, will you reach out to me? With all
you. Whether you are going to build a bridge, a house, a Lego set, or a church community, you have to take that very first vital step, planning. Without a plan, you just have pieces, as we learned today. If you take a bunch of people and put them in a sanctuary, you don't have a church. You have a bunch of people standing in a room wondering why they are there. And chances are, without some sort of plan for what they are doing there and how and why they should be together, they will feel like they don't belong and they will leave. And so, if you're going to build a church to which people feel like they belong, you need a plan. What is the purpose of this thing we want to build? Where and when will we meet? What will we do together? What is the vision? How big can we make it? How deep can we go? How expansive can we dream? Let us travel back in time 65 years ago, when a small group of Lakeland Unitarians and Universalists were planning how they were going to build a faith community, one that would give them a sense of belonging. On August 17th, 1960, this small group filed their Articles of Incorporation. This document, we will celebrate that. This document included a nascent plan and laid the groundwork for all the possibilities and potentialities of the future to which we now belong. Building belonging required they start with a plan. This is how their plan read in 1960. Article 1 stated, "The name of this corporation shall be the Lake Region Unitarian Fellowship, Incorporated." Article 2 stated a purpose for the Lake Region Unitarian Fellowship. It read, "The purpose for which this corporation is organized is to organize and conduct a church of religious fellowship, and to do and perform any and all other acts and things pertinent or incidental thereto, including the purchase, sale, and mortgaging of real estate." Because you see, they had just found a great place to meet, an old school under some beautiful tall pines, tucked back in a quiet neighborhood on Troy Avenue. It was a big step for this little group to purchase real estate. When I engage my historical imagination, I wonder, what might they have been feeling? Excitement, nervousness, apprehension, courage, and determination? Article 3 of the plan addressed membership. Members shall be admitted by signing their names in the membership book, and no qualification shall be established other than a desire to help in the work of the church and to cooperate with the other members. So that's a simple and sweet way to be a member, isn't it? However, it's more than that, actually, because this was 1960, the Jim Crow era, a time of segregation. But they meant what they said about no qualifications. They meant that no matter the color of a person's skin, anyone in line with the work of the church was welcome. And Cleo, Tommy, Thomas, the executive secretary and one of the most influential leaders of the church, made sure that this congregation was doing the work of racial equality. Article 4 read, "The term of existence of this corporation shall be perpetual." The rest of the articles lay out a plan for things like the election of officers, voting, an annual meeting, making bylaw amendments, and such. The articles were then signed and submitted to the state by 3 women who took it upon themselves to ensure that indeed a Unitarian church to which anyone could belong was being built here in Lakeland, Florida. Eleanor Detman, Patsy Eager, and Dorothea Garber. Is there a picture? That's okay. There's a picture somewhere. Were essential in taking that first step to building belonging. In fact, they had been planning the building of this community since Patsy Eager had come to town in 1952. They declared themselves a fellowship in 1955 when 35 people first signed the membership book, and the American Unitarian Association approved them in the beginning of 1956. Their stated purpose, the one that helped shape the subsequent layout and articles of incorporation, was this: it shall be a fellowship of free minds, having for its object the study and practice of liberal religion, the development of the higher life of its members, and the building of a better community and world. They had a vision. They made a plan. They gathered people and they built something. They built belonging. And we know that because we are still here. 20 years later, in 1980, an article appeared in the Lakeland Ledger. It was written by Lake Region UU Fellowship member Patty Eskenazi. When we examine this letter closely, we see that the Lake Region Fellowship was still building belonging. They were still visioning, planning, and articulating their purpose. Here's a peek into that letter. She wrote, "Members of the Lake Region Unitarian Universalist Fellowship will observe the 20th anniversary of the signing of the organization's charter with a special program Sunday at 10:30 a.m. The program, including a review of the history of the fellowship and a discussion of the present and the projected future, will be presented by Sarah Brehm and Dale Williams. Lunch will be served on the patio following the service, and all members and friends are invited to attend." I don't think August was as hot as it is today in 1980. The present minister, Reverend David Shire, explained, "Unitarian Universalism, having no fixed theology, is not easy to define in the manner in which most of us are accustomed to defining a religion. Indeed, its acceptance of truth as a changing, ever-growing process contradicts the basic perceptions of traditional religion. Its premise being that our essential insights into the nature of man and the universe flow from the experience of being human rather than from notions of divine revelation and intervention." When asked his feelings about its value in the community, Reverend Shire said, "I cannot help but see the Lake Region Unitarian Universalist Fellowship as an institution offering a significant alternative to the more traditional religious institutions. An alternative at once humanistic in its overall perspective and liberal in the context of its values and process. It is, if you will, a place to which each of us as individuals brings him or herself as is, hopefully without pretense, and asking simply for the reality of human caring and community. We are here," he wrote, in short, "to celebrate life." The people of the 1980 Lake Region UU Fellowship expanded on the vision of their predecessors. They continued to make plans. They gathered more people, and they built on the bricks of belonging that were laid before. Because of their intentionality, their vision of belonging, their careful planning, we are here now. What a blessing belonging is. That years of previous members understood that they belonged here and that this place belonged to them, so that now we can belong to it and to each other. But what will we do with that? How will we engage with great intention, with enthusiasm and love? How will we plan so that we continue to build belonging, brick by metaphorical brick? Last spring, or maybe it was the beginning of summer, no, it was in the spring, your board of trustees, led by our new board chair, Jen Dean, held town hall meetings to gather your thoughts and ideas, dreams and visions for this community. Jan then compiled all of your thoughtfulness and beautifully articulated it into a series of vision statements for you as congregants, which I've been told has changed to for ourselves, that first line, for the congregation as a whole, and for the local community, and for the world. So we passed out papers, and it's okay if you don't have one. You can get one afterwards. We're going to have it on the screens. We passed out papers with these visions on them. Now, you may have seen it before, as Jen did send it out, and she did ask for feedback, and you didn't give it to her. But perhaps it's because you didn't realize just how important this vision statement is to building belonging. If we are to continue to build belonging into the future, as our faithful and courageous ancestors did for us, we need to plan, and that requires a vision for the times. So we're going to read just the statements in italics together right now. So, vision for ourselves, that's the first one, is. You have papers, but there should be a slide. Is there a slide? No. Okay, if you have a paper, share with somebody. Thank you. Vision for ourselves. A spiritual home where individuals feel seen, heard, and valued, where they can explore their beliefs freely, deepen their self-awareness, and grow in love and justice. Okay. Vision for our congregation. A beacon of inclusivity, pluralism, and action, a dynamic and engaged community that fosters deep relationships and ignites passion for justice. Vision for our local community. A Lakeland where people of all backgrounds find belonging, and interfaith collaboration fosters a more just society. Vision for the world. A world rooted in justice, equity, and interdependence where humanity thrives with the earth. I love that. Do you hear the echoes of our ancestors' visions? Of the initial plans that they had for this community? 65 years later, as we strive to build a community of belonging, the visions of our ancestors have been expanded, broadened, and deepened by us for the future, because this community belongs to us, to all of us. You belong. You belong to all of this vision, all of this planning, all of the spiritual work that it takes to build a faith community that strives to exist in perpetuity. You belong to this community, and this community belongs to you. Maybe you know that already, but maybe you don't. And if you don't, consider this my invitation to belong. My invitation to engage in the visioning and the planning for the perpetual building of this church. This vision statement is not yet written in stone. Jen and your UUCL Board of Trustees want your feedback. And your feedback. Oh, and your feedback, and yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. We need one another in order to thrive and grow. Our diverse perspectives and experiences will help our plan and our vision to shine brightly, just like our chalice that we light each week and into the future. But in this moment, we will celebrate. We will celebrate life, as the Reverend Dr. Shire said, and we will celebrate 65 years of a community that has built belonging. And so we're going to break out the bubblies. We have champagne, we have sparkling lemonade, and we have sparkling water. And so you are all free to come up, and Ken and Petra will serve you. Just tell them what you want. And musician, woo! that was good. So come on up, we'll play some music, we'll celebrate 65 years, And then we'll sit back down and have our closing words and our closing song. Who's going to be first? Helen! It's a little bit like communion, except for you're in the Unitarian Universalist Church. I hear it popping over there. Yay, 65 years. And I'll say thank you, Patsy Eager, and thank you, Dorothea Garber, and thank you, Eleanor Detman. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Are you mingling? Mingle for a few minutes, and I'll ring the bowl when, you know. Mingle, celebrate, feel joy, joy, freedom, and love. cheers to life, to 65 years, and to us and our future. Cheers. Yay. And Ken will read our closing words. He's busy drinking, but we'll get him over here.
Okay. Sabine Selassie says, belonging is our capacity to feel joy, freedom, and love in any moment. As we sip our bubbly drinks and celebrate one another, let us ask ourselves, do we feel joy, freedom, and love in this moment? Do we feel like we belong here in this sanctuary? What else can we plan to build so that everyone who walks through our doors, everyone who is willing to cooperate and do the spiritual work of this church, feels joy, freedom, and love? Let us build belonging together.
Thank you. I got this. Yeah. Well, y'all, we have a closing song. It's from our new hymnal. We have a new hymnal. It's virtual. That's why I printed it out on a piece of paper. So this is one of those hymns from our new hymnal. And we've been practicing it. It's called When We Sing Together. And so the musicians are going to lead us. Yes? All right. I'll hand it over to them.
3, 4, and...
When we sing together, our melody takes flight. When we sing together, we feel the dance of time. When we sing together, our voices make us one.
And now we will extinguish our chalice. Dave, would you do us the honor? We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, the power of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.